Welcome everybody to Cooking Without Borders. We are going to be making today a pico de gallo, and we need some key ingredients for that. Obviously, we need cilantro, we need some tomatoes. Uh, you can use either white onions or you can use purple onions. For me, it tastes better. Anything that has to do with a salad or anything that has to do with this, purple onions are what makes it for me. Obviously, we have some green peppers, chili peppers right here, and can never forget lime, key. Okay. We do have other stuff that we're going to be making as well. We have some avocados because we're Hispanic and we love it. This is what we're going to be making today. Follow us, and then you'll see, and you can see, and you can make it as well with us. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is I like to split the cilantro in two parts. This is the stems, okay? So I'm gonna leave that on the side, and then we're gonna take all the leaves, right? And the easiest way to do this is you can just crumple them like this all together, okay? And then we can start chopping. Now make sure your fingers are always in this direction, and you have your knife, and then to put your knife sideways if you want. Just avoid cutting your fingers as much as possible, and then what we can do is that we do the same thing, and you repeat this process until you are fine with the details of how fine you want it. Right. Okay. Once you have found all your stuff finally dies. So once you have your cilantro finally dies and clean, okay, what we can do is we can go and put it in a bowl. Okay. So now we're gonna cut all these stems, and same thing. You make sure your fingers are grabbing all the stems together. You put your fingers tightly to meat, and then you can proceed to finally dice all of them. Now remember to do a couple of passes through this so you don't have any little stems like that. Fine. And what you can do is you can turn it around with your hand like that, and you can proceed to finally dice. Make sure your knife is fully sharpened when you're doing this, so it makes it easier. If you have a dull knife, you're gonna have a really hard time making this kind of cut, making this kind of dice. Okay, so now that it's all finely diced, grab the bowl that we have all the cilantro. We're gonna put it all in there. Okay, I'm gonna show you how it's kind of tends to look. See this? You can't tell the difference between each one. It's all properly diced. Alright, so we're gonna grab our orange onion. Some people call it red onion. It's more of a purple color for me. Okay. So what I do is I like to call the stem at the end first. Okay, and see this part right here? You're not gonna eat this. You can peel it off to make it easier. I cut it like this and just put it right here from the corner, and that just makes it 100% easier. Make sure you have a dirty bowl that you're gonna cook, or you're gonna put all your dirty stuff in there. And just to show you a little sample is that you can go in the corner. Right now, the reason why I'm doing this is because this one you want to be able to taste a little bit of the onions. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to cut it, dice them on tiny squares. Okay, it's not gonna be perfect. That's not what we're looking for. That's not what pico de gallo is all about. It's more about finding all the flavors together. Once we have these kind of squares right here like this, that's what we're gonna want to start mixing it into a bowl. Right now we have a whole little onion to go through. Okay, I'm just gonna do it one more time just so you can see. As you can see, I cut it in 4 pieces to take off the dead skin of the onion off, if I could get it. There you go. Okay. Yeah, preparaste. So we're gonna do again the same process again. Make sure you have a sharp knife when you're doing this. It's kind of emphasize how important having a sharp onion, having a sharp knife, not an onion, is it is in this process. And so again, we're looking for like nice little tiny squares for the pico de gallo, and we put in an inner bowl. Okay. And now that's half of the purple onion shallot. Okay, same thing. You cut it on half. It just makes it easier to peel off that skin. I mean, I could have done this before the video, but I just wanted to show one of the things that we like to do. Put up, paprika loud. Action. So one of the things I like to do is once I dice the onions and the cilantro, I like to mix it with my hands, right? And then as you can see, it's all nicely blended together, which is one of the key things that I like to find when I'm eating a pico de gallo. And as you can see, it's nicely blended right there. Alright, so here's the jalapeno. This is the hot pepper. Cut the tip off, okay? I like to squeeze it around like this to break all the insides properly in it. Okay, one of the things I like to do is, see, I'm not gonna cut it like this. I'm gonna go through the inside, split it on half. Okay, now two things you can do is you can take out this thing right here, the green, and the inside is very bitter. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to take it all out like that. You don't have to use any knives. You can just do it with your hands like this. And what this does is this is very bitter. So when you chew to it, there's no hotness to it. It's just bitterness. It's much better just to take it out, leave it outside. Some people like to leave it inside, preference for me, because I want to have the lime enhance the pico de gallo. I like to take all the green from the inside of the pepper, and I don't mind a little bit of the seeds in it, but I do mind the green on it. So as you can see, it's all out. One of the things I like that is you can dice them like this. Okay, once you have them like that, you're gonna dice them very finely, very tiny. Right? You can do this back and forth motion like this as you're cutting. Okay, so this is personal preference. Once I have them diced and they're actually pretty tiny, is I like to make another pass at it. Right? Now I won't do it to all of them. I'll do it to some of them, and then some of them I'll have just to have some smaller pieces and then some bigger pieces. And then once I have that, again, I'm gonna grab a mixing bowl. Then as we go, and put it all in there. And we're gonna repeat this process probably for maybe 2 or 3 more. So once we have diced, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but we have diced all the peppers, and then you can see it in there. So right now we have the cilantro, we have the purple onion, and then shallots, and then we also have the jalapenos in here. Now the other thing that we're just gonna add to it, tomato. Gotta add it. It's one of the things that's important, one of the key ingredients to it. Okay, so we have a tomato. Again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dice it through the half. Tomatoes in half, one of the things I like to do is I'm just going to dice them. Okay, once you have it, on these kind of pieces, what I like to do is that you can go individually on them, and then we're gonna cut in little squares like that. Once you have that, and you've done that through every slice, okay? Okay, you can add it to the bowl. Okay. Now we're gonna do this to this whole tomato right here. I'm only gonna use one tomato for this one. I think one tomato should be more than enough. I don't think I need more than that. Alright, this is the other half of the tomato. I'm just gonna try to speed run through it a little bit. Okay, again, but just for showing, I'm just gonna do. Put that one to the side. Okay. And one of the things I would like to do is, again, there we have. So you can see I'm showing two different kind of techniques to cutting. One is the just the motion without moving the knife, and then the other one is the back and forth. And now it really depends how you feel at that moment, how the knife is cutting, and then you can prefer to do it. Okay, so I'm going to use 2 lemons for this. Now one of the things I like to do is you can roll it to make sure the insides are properly. Now, one of the things you can do is that you can go, again, knife through the middle, split it. If you have one, you can use it like this. Now I'm going to show you how to do it by hand too as well if you don't have. Make sure you get all that juice. What I like to do is I like to flip it halfway. There's always a lot of juice in there as well. And we're gonna grab the other half, close it, and as you can see, all the juice is spread all over the place. Now I like this, the 2 little piece halves that I cut. Again, there's always so much juice in there. Make sure you get all of it out. Now, if you don't have this little tool handy, one of the things that you can do is that don't split it through the half, split it through a quarter. Okay, see this piece right here? You grab it with your fingers and you can just squeeze it with your hands like that. Now, again, you don't need one of these ones if you have it, sure. But again, I'm going to show you the other half. You don't cut it through the half, you only go a little quarter. Okay, and then all you have to do is you just have to squeeze it and get all that juice. And then you do this rotation motion with your fingers, make sure you get it, all of it out. Right. So now you have 2 different techniques that you can use. I'm just going to put it in here because I have the tool, so I'm going to use it. Okay. All right. So now we have the lime, cilantro, shallots, the purple onions, and the tomatoes, and then you can give it a quick mix. Now one of the things that you need is salt. Now I'm using kosher salt, right, for cooking. So what you can do is that you can grab just a pinch with your fingers, put it in there, just a little bit more, okay, and then you go to a mix, okay. Okay. I'm just going to put just a tiny bar, and that's it. Now, one of the things that you can do extra is, some people like it, some people don't. It's olive oil. It really is great if you want to enhance it. What you can do is, don't drip it too much. This isn't a salad. This is just a little bit. So what I like to do is I put the tip of the finger, a couple of drops in there, and that's all. And then give it a quick mix as well. All right, so one of the things that we are done is the pico de gallo. As you can see, we use cilantro, we use shallots, purple onions or red onions, we use tomatoes, and we use a jalapeno, a hot green pepper. And this is the final product. We use kosher salt and we use a little bit of oil. That's always, the last part is to your preference, right? If you want to. And this is the way it should look. Should have nice vibrant colors in there. The green should pop, should be great. Now, what can you use pico de gallo for? Well, that really is for pretty much anything that you can eat tacos, you can eat a burrito with it, you can eat anything that has a salsa in it, you can use this as well. If you have, we call it carne asada in Spanish, you can have that as a side dish, it's great. You can use it, have it with tortillas, you can have it with rice. It really is one of the versatile things that we use whenever you're eating anything Hispanic related. We use it for pretty much anything. It's a great side dish. It's something that enhances the flavor of whatever you're eating. If it's a meat, it would enhance it greatly. You're gonna see it a lot with tacos or Mexican food, some other food from other places. It will be great. Try it, you'll enjoy it.